male privilege exists, you are wrong.
In that case, I'm happy to be wrong. Please show me how it exists.
Gender bias is often ignored because it seems
Fuck, it's Lacey Green.
invisible and subjective to those who benefit from it. But trans men have experienced both sides of the gender-divided society, so I'm gonna let them explain male privilege in their own words.
They can't exactly explain it. They're not men. They appear to be men, but they're not. So, yep.
Male privilege is the idea that men are better than anybody else. Male privilege.
If anybody advocates the position that men are better than anyone else, then that's wrong. But I don't know anyone who does that, so I don't know for sure. But I mean, there probably is somebody, but I don't know.
Privilege is the ability to move about the world in the way that you want to.
It's the experience of being left alone and free to be yourself. Privilege is all.
So the ability to move around the world the way you want to and be free to be yourself. You both had an operation as when you appeared to be females, or when you looked like women, to have a surgery where you anatomically become men. That's a pretty free choice. I'd say you were free to be yourselves and walk about the way you wanted to.
Also like the absence of experience. As a man, I have the privilege of getting on New York City subway train at 1 in the morning and don't have to worry about a man wagging his dick at me. That is a male.
No, but you're 73% more likely to be robbed and assaulted. So, there's that.
Privilege that I like.
The first time I noticed I had male privilege was when I was walking home from hanging out with a bunch of friends who happened to be women. They had expressed being a little worried about walking home in the dark, and while I was walking, I realized that I had no worry in the world about being talked to or stared at or followed or assaulted.
So a man could just walk down.
That last one is not true. You're actually 73% more likely, according to FBI standards, to be assaulted. And if you're scared of being talked to or looked at, really? I thought women are supposed to be, this women's empowerment movement is supposed to show how strong women are and stuff, which I don't doubt that they are. But you're so strong that you're scared of being talked to? Come on, get fucking real. Get real.
Street, and no one is going to bother him. No one's going to ask him to smile. No one's going to ask him where he's going. No one's going to ask him if he's married. No one's going to ask him if they can walk with him. But this is something that I know women experience.
Well, number one, you're right. Those things might not be true. But, as I stated before, and as the FBI has previously stated, he's 73% more likely to be violently attacked. And, men can't ask to walk with other men because of societal standards. Here in America, what would society think about that? But two women could do it, and that's okay. But fuck the double standards. We're just here to talk about how bad men are, right?
Every day.
Post-transition life, my God, walking down the street is so glorious. I can actually think.
First time I ever experienced male privilege was on social media. I've always been the type to express myself and talk real crazy. And when I did it prior to transition, it wasn't okay. But the minute that I transitioned and everybody looked at me as that male figure, it was like, oh man, that's hilarious. I'm like, hey guy, I've been hilarious all this time. So what are you talking about?
Did you tell the same joke in the same way, in the same context, to the same people? I mean, really, there's other variables here. But, you want to ignore that. You want to ignore, hey, they laughed at something I said when I appeared to be a man, but when I was obviously a woman, they didn't laugh. So, sexism, right? Were all the other variables the exact same? No? Then it's not demonstratable, and you can't say that. Sorry to tell you, man. Sorry to tell you.
An unexpected aspect of male privilege for me was being taken way more seriously than I was before, and it's funny because I have all the same ideas, still thinking about the same things, and yet sometimes I would literally just be talked over or laughed at. Now,
if that's true, then you should have reported it. It's unfortunate, and if that happened, then I'm sorry for you.
people will often quiet down.
And having experienced that from both sides of the spectrum, as female and male, I call bullshit on that right now.
Male privilege and sexism isn't just a problem for women, but it's also about liberating ourselves. Masculinity is very diverse. Masculinity is what it is to you. You don't have to be a brute. You don't have to be an athlete. And my masculinity looks like a man who likes...
But you're wrong, because if you're not those things, then you're considered to be less desirable to a man. This relates very closely to Sandman and the 90-10 rule of MGTOW. Being if you're not in that 10%, then you're out of luck. That's what I'm saying. But you have to be those things. Those things go hand in hand. You don't realize that. But this isn't a MGTOW. Well, this is kind of a MGTOW video, but you know what I mean.
and babies, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I was in the club this night, and my brothers are around. I think it might have been single ladies, something like, and they go, "You're a man now. Men don't wild out to Beyonce like that." And I
Okay, so men can't wild out to Beyonce's, all the single ladies, but women can. Why can't you do it as a man? Is it perceived wrong or different or whatever because a man does it? I think your very statement just proved my point.
said, "But it's music."
There's no one way to be a man. There's a spectrum of masculinity, and just like, be chill.
If a guy wants to really understand male privilege and understand what it is, talk to women.
Step back.
If a woman really wants to understand what woman privilege is, talk to a guy. What about divorce courts, alimony? Why is it that there's a case in the news right now where a guy is getting alimony and they've nicknamed it manimony as a derogatory term? But it's not derogatory when women receive alimony, am I right? Who gets the kid in most custody cases? I'm willing to admit that a lot of fathers are unfit, but all of them? Almost all of them? I don't think so.
Listen to what other people are going through. Ask them what they're going through, and I think...
And even if almost all of them were unfit, shouldn't that be a judgment against the mother too for choosing a loser as a father? For their kid?
You'll see that the world doesn't run exactly the way you think it does.
You're doing nothing wrong by
You're right, the world does not run the exact way you think it does. You're right.
having privilege. It's just what you do with it that matters.
I'd like to thank
So as long as we ignore one side of, half of the issues, or the issues that go for men, and only focus on the issues that go for women, then that's okay. But the minute you pay any attention to men's issues, well, now you're not solely focusing on women. And I'm going to send this video to female friends, and they're probably going to, some of them might not like me, some of them might like me for it, I don't know. I'm just saying. It's double standards all throughout this video.
all of our guests for giving
By the way, I don't want to finish this video with Lacey Green, but I will.
their time and thoughts on this issue. We'll see you next time.
What else is male privilege? We actually have a bunch of men having to talk about what male privilege is, even though women have been talking about this for years. We ain't